welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello,
Did I go
hello.
a bit early there, did I? Yes, this is Andertons TV. He's Pete, I'm Lee.
Hello.
These are Universal Audio effects pedals, and that's what we're talking about today. But before we do...
Please like and subscribe.
Yes, if you're that guy that commented the other day that every video channel that asks you to like and subscribe at the beginning of the video means you immediately unsubscribe and dislike, I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah.
But please like and subscribe.
Don't like and subscribe.
Yeah, don't like and subscribe. If we're going to go through 4 pedals here, one at a time. If you're interested in the pedal that's right at the back, obviously you can use the timestamps below. And
Can you?
Maybe if you don't like any of these pedals, but you love the way Pete looks in that very fetching Andertons sweatshirt, maybe you want to buy some merch from Andertons, because it all helps keep the lights on. Anyway, right, Universal Audio, one of the most famous names in studio recording.
Yeah. Universal.
Inventor of the 1176 and home of some of the greatest studio things in the world.
Yeah.
So,
Links below.
Universal Audio got into the guitar pedal market 2 or 3 years ago with very high quality amp simulation pedals, very high quality reverbs and choruses and things like that.
Yes.
And
love those pedals.
this range of 4 pedals are cut down versions of those, more affordable cut down versions of those. So if I tell you what you don't get compared to the big pedals, this will sort of help position where these are.
Tell me.
So the big pedals were dual processor, full stereo, app, you know, sort of using preset storing,
Bluetooth.
all that stuff. These are mono pedals, single processor, no presets, no apps, no none of that stuff. No. But importantly, way cheaper and using exactly the same architecture, if you like, that the big pedals did.
Yeah.
So we have a compressor, 1176 compressor.
Oh.
We have a tape echo, which is essentially the EP boost from the Starlight. We have the Evermore, which is the kind of the Lexicon style reverb, sort of 80s studio reverb.
Beautiful reverb.
And we have the Heavenly, which is the sort of mechanical plate reverb.
And it's also me.
And Pete. So the signal chain today is the NF53 from Paul Reed Smith into the 1176, into an Origin Effects DCX boost, into a Friedman Little Sister, out the effects loop, into the tape echo, the studio reverb and the plate reverb, back into the effects loop and out of the speaker underneath.
I'm done now.
Yeah.
That's it.
And without anything on, it sounds like this.
Dry as you like.
Dry as you like. So let's start with, I'm not going to talk you through the reverb. I'm just going to add the Heavenly reverb and we'll get to that at the end. But here's just some reverb. So we're going to start with the 1176, without doubt the most famous name in compression. It's a rack unit designed by Universal Audio way back when in the 60s, I think, like that, a long time ago, and has been copied a million times over, and obviously it almost feels like Universal Audio are almost like the last people to the party with the pedal
to do a pedal in it.
But hey, here we are. So, concept here on the 1176 is it can be run as a single 1176 compressor. It can be run as a dual, so one into the next, and it can be run in its sustain mode, which is an 1176 into another 1176, but gained up more. So in the manual, they describe dual mode as 2 1176s Led Zeppelin style, and then sustain is 2 1176s Little Feat style. So I know the Little Feat thing was something that they mentioned. A lot of those guitar parts were recorded just straight into the desk via the compressor. All the rest of the controls are pretty normal compression controls, and then on the back you can elect to switch the compressor from a parallel mode, which is where you're still hearing a little bit of the dry signal and the compressed signal together, versus a series mode where you're basically just dumping the whole signal through the compression chain.
There's also, at the end of the day, it's quite complex.
There's also the option to switch between a buffered bypass and true bypass mode. In this particular demo, it's not really going to make any difference. So let's just turn it on and see what it sounds like. Whoa! Ooh. So we're in dual mode, that's why you're getting the gain. So single mode.
Yeah.
The LED light you can obviously see is giving you...
Oh, it does, look.
Yeah,
3 colours, is it?
Yeah, so I'm guessing, let's have a little look here. Does it tell me? It doesn't really tell me. So, you know, green is obviously when it's not compressing. I'm guessing amber is like a clean compression, and red you're actually hearing some drive, right? So,
it just does the thing, doesn't it?
Forever and ever and ever.
Sounds good.
I mean, again, it's hard to know. I think everybody will have like a preference as to what they want their compression to be. So, but if we went like clean but really, really compressed, you know, for a long time. Let's just see where we're going here. You can really hear it, can't you?
It's got that. It fattens it up, doesn't it?
It's weird because it's like, when you hear the sort of Corey Wong style compression, it's the attack on the note is very different,
it's almost like
isn't it?
Instantaneous, whereas like ducking it down.
This compressor, you actually don't hear the compression until the note's maybe 1 or 2 seconds old, and then you kind of hear.
Exactly. That's what I like my compressors to do.
You almost hear it kick in.
I'm basking in the ambience. So if turn that off. It's still good.
It's still good without.
Sustain
it's a lot of sustain, but.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
We're on parallel mode at the moment, which means we're still hearing some of the dry. If I go to series, maybe. That's more that Corey one. Because you're not hearing any of the dry signal anymore. So now you're just hearing this very... Now, for me, as a guitar player that has a compressor on his board, I want that sound. I wonder if in parallel it's more of a studio compression thing.
Yeah, that's kind of, I like to use I've got the Origin effects. We could do a comparison with some. I just like to have that sort of blend, that you blend the two in together.
I'll put it back to parallel mode, and then we'll go to the dual. So this is a, you know, if you like, this is 2 1176 is now one into the other.
So now you're getting some gain. It's quite an interesting, it's not a conventional, again, I know like almost the 1176 is the original compressor. It's a studio compressor.
I think if you've got used to using other pedal compressors, I mean, I've got a little whitey tighty from JHS on my board, and it really doesn't do this. It's a different kind of...
I think it can do it, but I think it's much more subtle thing, but it just makes everything nice.
Let's try... Keep playing that.
In my opinion. I mean, I would take it on the other, so you don't get that gain.
So you want the single mode?
I think the single mode for me is...
The third mode, I think, is even more gain. So let's have a little...
Can you not take that down, that gain, or can you...
Well, I guess I can adjust the input volume.
I do think compressors are like and you have to know how to use them, and they can do stuff
that you not necessarily like.
They're definitely going, I think, for that Cali 76 stacked compressor thing with the two.
Yeah.
Here it is in series mode.
Oh, that sounds good. So if you put a bit of drive.
I just for the record,
sorry,
I definitely prefer it in series mode.
Yeah.
It's more what I consider compression as a guitar player.
Turn it off.
Wow!
Turn it off. That's what you want, man. And I think the good compressors when you play with them, the feel, it's not just about doing this to your signal. It's about actually having that much more to work with, in my opinion.
Well, look, so that's the 1176. Spent quite a lot of time messing around with that one there because I think it's got, definitely has got more stuff on it than your average communal garden compressor.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good.
Let's move on. So the Orion, everything you're hearing now is going through the effects loop of the amplifier. As I mentioned before, the Orion is the Echoplex tape delay from the Starlight.
Starlight.
So again, mono, single processor, no presets or anything like that. There is a Pete did spot as well. There is a USB socket on the side. But as far as we know, all it will do is firmware updates.
Yeah.
So no, you don't. Basically, all you got to do is every year or two just plug it in, see if there's a new firmware update.
If you register your pedals on Universal Audio website, it'll come and tell you as soon as there's an update, and you just plug them in.
So
easy peasy.
Very, very simple to use this time. We've got a delay amount, we've got a mix control, we've got feedback, we've got wonk, which is wow and flutter, so that's a sort of a tape age thing, and record level, which is the tape color. So turn that up for more saturation on the echoes.
Is it Joey saturation?
Just got yes. Is it what?
Joey saturation.
Joe saturation Rihanna, you mean?
Honestly, it's just late, man.
It is late. Okay, and then the switch in the middle here allows me to adjust between a mint, a worn, or an old tape machine.
Oh, that's cool.
So let's start with mint and see what we get. That's
a good sound.
A mint. That's described as a mint one. So you're expecting the repeats of the delay to be
fresh
quite
tape.
Crisp. Yes.
Fresh tape, baby.
If I go to, well, I mean, I can do it from. If I turn up the wonk and the record level, we might hear. Still
you
pretty
can hear
good, right?
Yeah, but it gets a little bit more crispy.
So let's go over to worn. There you go. You can.
Yeah, there's some drive there. Can't find the tempo.
So it's got no.
Sounds great, though.
It's got no tap delay. It's got no sort of dotted notes or divisions or anything like that. It's just straight.
Yeah, straight through. But listen to that.
Fashioned.
That sounds great.
And let's go old.
Oh yeah.
With maximum wonk. Oh yes. Oh, the modulation through the wonk is... I know it's all
great,
personal preference, but for me, the joy of a tape echo and a simulated sort of tape echo is the modulation and the degradation you get. I think if you're looking to achieve the crispiest, crystalist kind of echoes,
then you get digital delay, you know. Which
I'm going to just quicken that up a bit and maybe have a few.
I would never have that much delay anyway, but it sounds good.
With a bit of overdrive.
This does sound good.
It does sound great.
It's a good
They're
sound.
ever so quiet as well, aren't they? In terms of just, especially
even the compressor's very quiet.
I mean, you'd think you got the volume rolled, or yeah, that is really quiet, isn't it? Okay, for those of you out there as well, Noel, if you're watching, the settings on the amplifier are everything at 12 o'clock, just like they always are in every single video that we do.
Yeah, because those are the amps we like to use. Noel, if you're watching, yeah.
Anyway, no, I'm joking. We've got gain on 3, master on 2, and all the tone controls pretty much at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, let's do the Evermore. So I'm going to switch the Heavenly off now. So the Evermore is the Lexicon style 80s digital delay.
Yeah.
What I've not seen used before, and apparently this is a feature from the original kind of Lexicon reverbs, is you can adjust the decay of the bass, middle and treble. When I initially saw this, I assumed it was tone for
oh, right, okay,
the reverb, but it's not tone. It's the reverb is put through a crossover. It's divided into bass frequencies, middle frequencies, treble frequencies, and you can actually decide to have longer or shorter delays on each frequency, which is kind of crazy. Plus we've got modulation, plus we've got mix, plus we've got the choice of room, small or large hall. And we can adjust pre-delay as either on or off. I quite like that in the sense of
you play and then you get
I always have pre-delay set low. I just like reverb straight away as opposed to a gap. What is this set to? This is set to
apart
off.
From you don't like the surprise.
And you can choose to have trails or true bypass mode. Again, it doesn't really matter in this demo. Let's
trails
start
are nice, aren't they?
with a room.
You put the compressor on. Can we put have that on?
Turn the modulation all the way down. I'll demo that in a minute, but let's just go to small hall.
I don't know what that was.
Now, again, for me,
I lost the trail.
that still feels like I would want to go bigger. But again,
Yes.
maybe.
No, go bigger.
But I was just wanted to see, I can fiddle with the decay controls
Please.
now. There's some. So I said it's not tone, it's the amount of decay on the bass. And in fairness, the guys from UA said, you know, if you want to just go into that sort of infinite looping. Oh man, sorry, I was.
You've messed it up.
Well, no,
now,
so
yeah.
I'm just realising. So we're in trails mode
Yeah,
on.
which means it's just when you turn it off.
Because everything's turned up full, it's never going to switch off. You've just got this infinite. So I was thinking
And that's when you need two of them, because then you can use this one. So then if let's do the same thing again. Let's do the same thing, Sergo.
I
I mean, this is where you can trail that up, and then you
Yeah.
and then you change another chord. It's almost like
the issue with that is with them once it starts to do that feedback loop,
Yeah.
it just grows and grows and grows and grows. So
Yeah, exactly.
it becomes quite uncontrollable. Exactly.
Till eventually
I was
just
really
explodes.
liking. I really like that. I'm going to add on that small hall. Small hall kind of boosted a bit. Is perfect. Let's add some modulation in. I think slightly boosted small hall is as much as you'd ever want, but let's see what large hall is. Modulation's a bit over the top. You know what? I said these didn't work as EQ, but they kind of, it does make
Yeah, it does
the
an EQ
reverb
kind of thing,
more
yeah.
trebly and more bassy,
Yeah.
but I gather it's not actually playing with EQ, it's playing with decay
That
of
sounds
those frequencies.
great.
But that did sound good. That did sound good.
You can keep going with that,
the guys at UA said, think Bryan Adams and Bruce Springsteen. So
It's
given
Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen. So given that we never need.
It's got that.
Yeah.
But that must be the. Is that the 40? What is it called? 140 or is it called 240 or those old?
Was Keith Scott on the albums as well as the live
I
stuff?
think so. He's a legendary guitar player.
Great.
Yeah, there's that clip that was sent around where he's giving Hendrix a run for his money on. He just loses it on it.
If next time Bryan Adams is touring the UK, I'd love to have Keith Scott on.
Bryan Adams as well, man. I'm sure he'll come in.
Well, if Bryan wants to come on too, with proper Canadian royalty.
We can. If they come in together, then we can play a song.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine that?
The first 10 million viewed video on Andertons TV. But no, I've always, again...
He's got such an underrated guitar player. He's just
100%. He's got some great licks. So many of those Bryan Adams songs have got an iconic guitar intro.
Yeah. Or solo, which is just him.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the Evermore.
Gig to have, isn't it?
Great gig to have. That'd be one of the all-time best gigs to have, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but he's had it all his life.
Yeah. So,
anyway.
So moving on. Finally, we are on the Heavenly. This is a plate reverb emulation effect. I say emulation because, of course, a plate reverb is a mechanical big piece of metal that sort of makes reverby noise. I think it's my favourite kind of reverb, but hey-ho.
It's got nothing to do with plates.
Has it not? It's not like a... Well...
There's a guy spinning inside.
That's what it is. So, fairly familiar set of controls here. Decay, mix, pre-delay, EQ and modulation. You can switch between a fast and a slow mode of the modulation on the back. And the three different types of plate are Vintage Bright, Vintage Dark and Modern Full.
I'm definitely in slow mode today.
So let's just start with our first A setting and see what happens.
Full sloth mode here. That is definitely, it's got that metallic.
Yeah, I love it. I'd go plate over spring every day of the week.
Yeah, that depends on what you need, man.
I don't like the clang on a spring reverb. I like this shimmeriness and the cleanness of plate.
That's why you have two pedals. You have to have both. You can't just have one. There's something about a spring that when you know. I love a spring when it's just like a hit, like it's got that sort of. Anyway. It's not that
fast or slow. We're on slow modulation. I was just trying to see whether we were on fast or slow.
I need my sloth time today, man.
Play that Bryan Adams thing. I just want to see if is he more plate or is he more.
Definitely hear that is good.
I do love this.
Have you seen that film, the sloth?
This new horror film,
Sloth House,
where the sloth goes around killing.
Yeah, kills people. They're just all sloths are they just pretend to be slow.
Oh, I see, but they're actually
really fast, and then they got the three claws, haven't they?
Wicked claw.
This is called Slaughterhouse, not Slaughterhouse, but Slaughterhouse. I have to watch it, man. You know I have to watch it.
Have you seen the trailer for Meg 2 yet as well? There's Jason
no, I haven't
Statham.
seen that.
Oh my God.
Oh, he's just an action man. I love him.
I love him, but it's like the video is just ridiculous. There's a classic bit of like a couple on a yellow pedalo trying to sort of pedal away. This enormous.
But in the background, he just punches right in the face and then he kills it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, let's try the second mode, which is Vintage Dark.
You're getting off on this, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. flipping
I have to
heck,
say,
man.
I really like this guitar. I know people go, "Grrr," but I really like it.
It's a great guitar.
Sounds great as well. Anyway.
So can we start the conspiracy theory? NF53 surely stands for not Fender. NF.
Oh, I
Not
keep calling it
Fender?
the NFT. I don't know why I keep calling it. It's not Fender. It's called
NF53.
No, near field pickups, isn't it? 53 with a near. It's not Fender, but of course, yeah. But that's what these are.
Comment below. What does the NF stand for? 53 obviously is he very
Not Fender.
It's
brilliant.
He very much says it's inspired by a
His
vintage
53s.
instrument from 1953, so you can guess which that is, but not Fender, right?
I didn't even think about that.
It probably
now-
is near field. But anyway, can we hear this modern full heavenly setting, please? Put us a bit more, I don't know. I'm going to go a bit. I'm going to put lots of modulation and we'll go a little bit more ambient.
How long is it? If you
You want to go extra long. Put a bit of pre-delay on there. It's a bit over the top, isn't it?
Yeah.
You like it? Modulation go fast.
Okay.
Oh, it's got a different colour LED depending on if you're fast or slow. Look.
I like the slow one.
Hey, you know what?
I mean, it's a lot,
not,
isn't it?
It's not. You know when you're using like a Walrus Slow or something like that, where it doesn't feel to me that this really lends itself to that crazy reverb. I think this is just a really nice, clean plate reverb effect to have on a slightly more subtle setting.
And you know they do good stuff, man. You know. And what are these priced at then?
These are all about 200 quid.
Yeah.
I think the 1176 is marginally cheaper than the other three. But again, I think if you look at, there was some criticism of the dearer pedals that they were quite expensive, going up against the sort of the
Strymon
more
stuff,
expensive
there's no MIDI on it,
and there was no MIDI.
Yeah.
So I get that, but what I like about these is the size of the pedal. It's a traditional compact size.
Yeah.
It's mono. There's no programming, but it's priced to be that. So it feels to me like, you know, if you've got a board of nice pedals that you're not doing MIDI switching and you're not doing stereo, these will appeal much more than perhaps the bigger Walrus Audio pedals. Walrus Audio?
Not Walrus Audio.
Universal Audio. Whoever we're demonstrating today, you know what I mean, ladies
It's been
and
a
gentlemen.
long day today,
It has
man.
been a long
This is
day.
the fourth video.
Which one? Do you know what? I started this video having had a brief run through with them.
Me too.
And the Evermore being the one that I was just like, I don't really get why I would want that. And then I'm finishing it by going, I actually almost feel like that was my favourite sounding one.
I mean, that's
You like this?
1176. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Because it's so it's quiet.
Yeah.
It's super quiet.
Yeah.
It's on now.
No, it's off. It's on
Okay.
now, but you can't hear it, so you can't hear any.
But listen, I just want that little bit.
That's a great reverb.
It's too much modulation.
Too much modulate words.
Yeah. It's almost got some, what's his
I just
name,
put a
tones.
tiny bit of delay. Eric Johnson for a minute?
Yeah, there's a little bit of
maybe.
Eric Johnson going.
Well, long old video, but they always are when we get tones that we like.
That's good.
But yeah, links are below. They'll be in stock pretty much from the day of launch, as far as I'm aware. So all around about the £200 mark, free delivery in the UK, universal audio goodness. What more can you want? See you tomorrow.